Welcome to another edition of the CEO's blog. John, thanks for joining us. We had a big weekend again in New South Wales, a couple of Carnival Cups meetings, including Cootamundra on Sunday.
Cootamundra was, as usual, great weather. Perhaps a little bit too warm for some, but a great weather, and it was fantastic to see Abby Howell win her first race. Another young lady who will certainly make great inroads into our sport. We're so blessed and lucky to have all these young girls that are so competitive.
Yes, and we also had the Broken Hill Carnival Cups meeting on Friday night, which unfortunately you couldn't make.
No, there was a bit of a hiccup with a plane, one of the Rex planes, of course, and that's been well documented through the media. But yes, it's always a great meeting at Broken Hill, but unfortunately we had no race. Harness Racing New South Wales will be looking at the occurrences, how that came about, every aspect of that race. I must say, for the owners of the horses, it wasn't what we wanted. Yes, they have been compensated under the policy, but there's a few little matters there at Broken Hill that we need to look at. Their season doesn't start now until next year, or later this year rather. So yes, an inquiry will be held into what actually occurred there, but it was a comedy of errors from the very start.
What were some of the circumstances for those that haven't had a chance to see it?
Well, the mobile certainly. Well, one was that the fact that when the mobile driver or the operator of the vehicle opened the arms, it struck a horse. That was before the race started. The mobile barrier certainly got well away from the field. It was a bit of a shambles at the start. There was a fall, and then of course it's obvious that the drivers mistook the laps at some stage there. Whether they went one too many or one too short, no one really knows, to tell you the truth. But still, it's not satisfactory. We certainly do need to look at it, and whilst I'm saying there is a future for Broken Hill, it will be a different type of future, I would think, going forward.
Okay, well, as we're on the topic of Carnival Cups, we didn't get to talk about it last week, but I was out at Young the other week for their Carnival Cups meeting, and I've heard all about these ladies that bake all these amazing cakes and make these sandwiches for every meeting they have at Young, and I was fortunate enough to meet some of those ladies and catch up with them, and they all watch your CEO's blog, John, and are very fond of it.
Well, I was Abby Howell and the wonderful young girls in our sport that perform so well on the track, but these are wonderful, lovely, mature-aged ladies who provide, and the tradition of the cakes in the young drivers' room is known everywhere. It's Australia-wide, if not worldwide, and those ladies do a tremendous job. Where would we be without them? I'm not really sure. They're the backbone. They have been for a long time of this industry. They're the very fabric.
Yeah, their cakes are amazing too. All right, let's talk about in the Western Districts. We've had a bad weather all over the state actually, and we saw a meeting lost at Penrith last week, and we've had a lot of bad weather in the Western Districts just the last few days, but some clubs and Harness Racing New South Wales are being proactive with this wet weather.
Yeah, looking forward, and of course we had that poor weather for so many months last year, and we thought, well, there'll be a drought coming, but the rain has certainly set in right across the state. Penrith, as you say, lost a meeting last week. We'll try to pick that up along the way with additional races. But Parks the other night were deluge there has done a lot of damage to the track. The track is closed for the purposes of training horses at this time, and the club will work very hard towards restoring that track for the meeting that is on Friday week. But being proactive, Parks have looked forward, and if they can't get that track back in place because of the prevailing weather conditions, that meeting will be transferred to Dubbo, all permitting that ground's available. The option of Bathurst was also there, but Bathurst is undergoing a top dressing and upgrade of the track as soon as the carnival's over, to look forward into the winter where they race so often. So yeah, it's great to see that the tracks are proactive in wanting to secure race meetings and ensure that they go ahead. Yeah,
and working together as well. You talked about Bathurst. It's their big night this Saturday night. We've got the Bathurst Gold Crown Carnival.
And what a night. Anybody that hasn't been to the Gold Crown Carnival should be there. Of course, you can watch it on TV, but that doesn't get you the atmosphere, the excitement of the owners after they win the race, the tremendous nervousness of the owners before the races, of course. And who can forget Emilio Rosati last year parading around for some hours after his horse won with the rug draped around his shoulders, just like Caesar would have been in years long past when Ben-Hur was about and we had chariot racing. But our form of chariot racing is what we have, and the Gold Crown Carnival, just fabulous racing, competitive, and I suggest everybody gets there and get there early because I expect a very huge crowd.
Very good. Well, I'll be looking forward to it. So thanks for your time this week, John, and we'll catch up again next week.
Always my pleasure, Amanda.